Vasudha Venugopal now joins us live for that big national political face-off over the emergency. The political resonance of June 25th, 1975 remains loud 50 years later in 2025. A sharp exchange there, Vasudha, between the Prime Minister's darkest chapter remark and the Congress's accusation of an undeclared emergency right now.
Absolutely, Veera. Good evening to all our viewers. 25th June 1975 was when emergency was imposed in the country, and it led to very turbulent times for the nation. But it made us realize this one very important thing about democracy, that it is very precious, and it sometimes just takes one dictator, one leader to disrupt all of it. Well, some important learnings and lessons from there, but emergency continues to be an important part of our socio-political discourse. The BJP says that it does not want the country to forget what it went through between 1975 and 1977. The Congress has called the last 11 years an undeclared emergency. But what does it really mean? What kind of resonance does emergency that was imposed 50 years ago have today on India's politics, on India's society? That is what we discuss today with my co-anchor Veera, and we have some very good guests with us on the panel. But first, let's listen in to what Home Minister Amit Shah said today, and also how Congress President Mallikarjun Kharge responded to this.
25 तारीख को आपातकाल लगाया गया। कारण तो कहा कि राष्ट्र की सुरक्षा खतरे में है, परंतु पूरी दुनिया अब जानती है राष्ट्र की सुरक्षा को कुछ नहीं हुआ था, उनकी कुर्सी खतरे में थी। बाबा साहेब आंबेडकर और संविधान निर्माता ने जो 2,67,000 शब्द बोलकर चर्चा कर संविधान का निर्माण किया था, वो सारी चर्चाओं का अंत इंदिरा जी ने, राष्ट्रपति जी ने आज आपातकाल की घोषणा की है। एक वाक्य बोलकर सारे संविधान के स्पिरिट को खत्म करने का काम किया।
जो लोग अपने गवर्नेंस में नाकामयाब रहे, कुछ नहीं कर सके, और उनकी विफलता इतनी है कि लोग आज इन्फ्लेशन के लिए पूछ रहे हैं, उसका सवाल का उनके पास जवाब नहीं है, बेरोजगारी का नहीं है, भ्रष्टाचार का नहीं है, आर्थिक बदहाली जो हो गई, नोटबंदी जो हो गई, झूठ जो बातें इन्होंने बार बार करते आए हैं, तो उस झूठ को छुपाने के लिए वे आज ये नाटक रचे हैं।
Well, what happened 50 years ago is still important because it resonates with the socio-political discourse in the country. Also, there are questions if emergency debate is also being politicized, because the BJP wants people to keep remembering what happened between 1975 and 1977. And why is it important to remember that? That is what we discussed. Shama Mohammed of the Congress party joins us. We also have Charu Pragya of the BJP. We have political analyst Amitabh Tiwari and Professor Sandeep Shastri joining us. Thank you all of you for being part of this broadcast. Shama, to you first. I know it's a different BJP. I know it's a different Congress. Many of us were not even born when the emergency happened. But still it gets talked about. And every time it's talked about, all of us feel interested because the kind of actions that took place then, over 1 lakh people detained under several laws, these restrictions on press. Why do you think that the Congress party finds itself in the dock every year? This day gets observed, and now it's become the Samvidhan Hatya Divas.
It is not relevant at all in this age and time. The relevance is done by a government who has nothing to show. I mean, I can start talking about it. Before that, let's understand one thing. Indira Gandhi regretted it. She had a free and fair election in 1977. That's why the Janata Party coalition came to power. She did not manipulate, did nothing. She had a free and fair election. And let's understand, in 22 months, she was back in power with full majority. People didn't like her. She wouldn't have been back in power. So let's just make it very clear. Number two, the government keeps talking about this because they have nothing to show. And I want to ask, I don't even want to discuss. I want to know what's happening in Manipur. I want to know where are those 4 terrorists. They say there were 4 terrorists. They put out names earlier on. which were not the same names. Some new names have come. I want to know who is accountable for the security lapse in which 26 people were killed in Pahalgam. Nobody is accountable. I want to know how much of our land is occupied by China. I want to know when 2 weeks before it was $60 a barrel oil price internationally, why are we paying 100 rupees for petrol and around 95 for diesel when both of them have been deregulated in 2010 and 2015 respectively? Let's understand. Why are my gas prices high? Why am I paying GST on milk and other things? Why is there so much of high unemployment in this country? Why are rapists released in this country? And why are even United States said they put out an advisory, don't go to India because women are not safe here. I want to know. Recently, a French woman raped in Rajasthan. Odisha, another rape. All BJP states.
Okay, Shama, let's get the BJP spokesperson. Let's get the BJP spokesperson to respond.
Pragya Thakur say inside the parliament, God says a Deshbhakt hai aur rahega, a terrorist who killed Bapu. I need answers for all this. If they're able to answer, let's see what they wanted.
Okay,
I'm not going to discuss about this.
Okay, Charu Pragya. Yes.
Right now.
Charu Pragya. Shama Mohammed, the Congress is asking this question that a lot of people want to ask. Why is the emergency talked about 50 years after it happened? Does it have any resonance today? What would your response be?
We remember the emergency not because we lived in the past, Vasudha. We remember it because we refused to repeat it. By that logic, why would we even commemorate the partition? Why do we teach children about the Holocaust? The emergency is modern India's single largest constitutional collapse, and it happened under an elected PM. We have to remember it, we have to learn about it, because we cannot be repeating the mistakes of our history going forward into the future. You want to wipe out that dark era of our country? You cannot do that. You cannot. Fundamental rights were suspended. Freedom of speech was gone. The freedom of press was finished. Newspapers needed actual government clearance to get printed. Movies were banned. Over 1 lakh people were jailed without a trial. Courts were bypassed. And parliament was reduced to a puppet. And what is Shama saying? Indiraji regretted it? I don't remember that. There's not one statement of Indiraji ever showing any kind of regret. In fact, Congress today, with leaders like Adhir Ranjan ji and Jairam Ramesh, they call it a necessity. They call it a bold move. That doesn't sound like regret, Shama. It sounds like glorification of the darkest era of the Indian democracy.
Charu Pragya, very briefly, the accusation is that you are picking up the past because you don't have a defense for the present. That's the argument that Shama Mohammed has put forth. How do you respond to that?
So what present is she talking about? India is doing great in the present, and it is a work in progress that the entire world is seeing, not just our voting citizens. This is the third time that our PM has been elected back into power because of his history and because of his fantastic good report card. This has never happened in any other country post World War II. It is only India which offers this political stability. Where does it come from? It comes from the confidence of our people. Every parameter.
Shama Mohammed, Charu Pragya says that she has both the present and the past on her side. Please go ahead and respond to this before I go to Sandeep Shastri and Amitabh.
She talked about the way press had no freedom. I want to ask her, there was a documentary on 2002 by the BBC. Why was it banned in India? What is the reason? We want free. I want to watch it. Why are you hiding it? Is it because the Prime Minister of India was responsible for it? I want to know, in Empuran, a Malayalam film, why were the scenes pertaining to the Gujarat riots removed? That is also part of history. That is dark days of history which were covered.
Can I respond, please?
A person like Bilkis Banu was raped by 11 people. She was 7 months pregnant.
Let's get Amitabh Tiwari now. Amitabh Tiwari, when it comes to the political discourse, when it comes to the accusation, Amitabh Tiwari, when it comes to the accusation by the Congress party that the BJP is politicizing it, and the BJP calling all of this something that's important for the country to know, how do you see this, Mr. Tiwari?
No, of course.
Mr. Amitabh Tiwari, how do you see this political discourse revolving around emergency that happened 50 years ago, something that the BJP says is very important for the country to know, and the Congress saying that it's just being politically weaponized?
No, see, it's a battle of perception and narratives. What has happened over the past few years is that the Congress and the opposition parties have clearly raised or alleged that the constitution is in danger, and during the Lok Sabha elections, they have raised the point that the BJP could change the constitution if it gets 400 seats. And we saw resonance also on the ground, due to which the BJP lost some SC/ST reserved seats compared to 2019. So it is in a way BJP's answer of getting back to Congress and trying to portray to the people, especially as you mentioned, when the 18 to 35 or 18 to 44 age group, which is around 65% of the voting population, has not seen emergency. So it is very, very difficult for this issue to resonate amongst this section of voters. So that's why the BJP is trying to bring home the point that, see, while the opposition has been targeting us that constitution is in danger and we could change the constitution if we got 400 seats, or even today it is an undeclared emergency. It was the Congress party and the leader which actually imposed emergency and did 1, 2, 3 things, correct? But there is one catch here, is that of course it is beneficial in targeting or neutralizing the narrative of the opposition, but it also gives a message to the people that too much power should not be given to one political party, because there is a lacuna in the constitution which can be used in the future.
Right. Sandeep
Yes,
Shastri,
absolutely. That's a very
given
important
that
point.
What Amitabh Shivari has said, is it a case of the pot calling the kettle black when you have this political exchange, or is it also about establishing moral superiority on who has the moral authority to say what at the end of the day in political discourse?
Veera, very quickly, based on what all we have said, I think there are 4 points we need to highlight. Point number 1, as you said, it has today become a part of a political narrative. Very clearly, in a polarized system, it becomes convenient for both sides to use it to make their point. Secondly, I think there is no question of doubt, there is no shadow of doubt that the declaration of emergency was undoubtedly one of the darkest days of Indian democracy. Let's not have any second thought about it. Point number 3, to the best of my records and understanding, Mrs. Indira Gandhi never directly, openly regretted the emergency. Najma Heptullah, who later on was with the BJP, has written in her book that Indira Gandhi regretted the emergency. R.K. Dhawan has written, Fotedar has written, but there is no documentary evidence that she herself directly regretted.
Public expression of it.
But let me make a 4th point. The emergency itself had a significant impact on North India. Let's remember, Veera, that in the 1977 Lok Sabha election, the Congress lost only 9 of the 119 seats in South India. They lost only 9 of the 100. They won all the seats in Karnataka except 1. They won all the seats in Andhra except 1. They won all the seats in, the alliance won all the seats in Kerala except 2. And they won all the seats in Tamil Nadu except 5. So I think let's also remember
a very important
these
point,
aspects.
Professor Shastri.
Undoubtedly, emergency was wrong.
Shama
but the
Mohammed,
nature
you
of
heard
its
Professor
impact
Shastri
varied
out.
across the country.
Yes. Okay. Shama, Rahul Gandhi has often talked about appending systems. He has talked about radicalizing, disrupting systems, and he has not really, he has often talked about correcting wrongs done in the past. Why doesn't he talk about emergency? Because this also would mean that he is really committed to the idea of freedom of speech.
No, so why doesn't Modi talk about what happened in 2002? Now, Mr. Shastri says, others have said she has regretted. Has any other told Modi has regretted about 2002? He said it's like a puppy under a tire. So please let me know what happened in Gujarat. Has he shown any regret? Even for 1984, Sonia ji and Manmohan Singh ji, especially in Parliament, said we regret it. And I'm saying we regret it. Has Narendra Modi ever regretted what happened in 2002? Never. Even now, he's after the Muslims. Even now, there's bulldozing. Even now, it's you versus other. Who said, आपके मंगलसूत्र, Congress party, आपके मंगलसूत्र चीन के मुसलमानों को देंगे? Narendra Modi in the last election. Congress party, आपके बहस चीन के मुसलमानों को देंगे? What sort of prime minister is this? And let me tell you, they are members of parliament. Their MLA, Deputy CM of Rajasthan, said that we will change the constitution if we get more than 400. So it is not normal public talking about it. It is the truth. And one last point.
Okay.
When Ajit Pawar, there is no investigation. Ajit Pawar is another party. The minute he joins Bharatiya Janata Party, ED cases are stopped against Himanta Biswa Sarma, against Subhendu Adhikari, organ, CBI, EC, ED. It's controlled by the Prime Minister of this country. It's an undeclared emergency.
Charu, that's an important point. Yes.
Yeah,
Charu Pragya, respond to that.
Emergency. Vasudha, I've heard this word so often, undeclared emergency. Let me tell you how an emergency actually looks like. All the opposition leaders in the actual emergency were behind bars. Behind bars. Media couldn't speak. Today, all these opposition leaders are taking press conferences twice a day. They are screaming on national television, pointing fingers at our elected Prime Minister time and time again. They cancelled elections when the actual emergency happened. Cancelled elections, and we just concluded the world's largest elections last year. This is not this a figment of imagination.
Charu, let me just ask you this one question. A lot of opposition leaders were also jailed, from Hemant Soren to Arvind Kejriwal. I know that this was solved because of investigation, and people would always say that these are autonomous bodies. But the allegation by the opposition parties that investigating agencies are being misused and that opposition political parties are being targeted. How do you respond to that?
Vasudha, were they jailed because they come from a different political ideology, or were they jailed because they were involved in corruption charges in cases that were being investigated at every level? That is the difference. In emergency, political leaders or even otherwise, people were jailed for no reasons. Criticizing the government equaled to a crime. That is what the emergency meant. That is what we are trying to remember today. It is very important we remember this. If we forget the lessons of our past, our future is going to remind us in the most horrific manner.
Okay. My last question to the Congress, and very clearly, Shama Mohammed, when you make an accusation about the present, about the emergency, it seems more like condoning it. Is it bad strategy to just oppose the emergency argument of the BJP? Perhaps let it be, make the accusations on another day, because one wrong does not right another wrong.
No, why does the Prime Minister start with emergency every year? It happened many years ago. Why doesn't he talk about what is happening in his country? Why
not concede that it was a big mistake?
No.
Every country.
After Naroda, I didn't interrupt. I won't let you talk. After Naroda Patia, Babu Bajrangi,
something bad happened,
walking free. Babu Bajrangi, after killing thousands.
I'm simply asking you this by that logic. Any bad thing should not be remembered. A death of a family member, a Holocaust, a partition, any bad thing. Why do you celebrate death anniversaries then?
Many learnings there. Thank you, Charu Pragya. Thank you, Shama Mohammed. That's all the time that we have. Thank you, Professor Shastri. Thank you, Mr. Amitabh Tiwari, for joining us. Veera, this only makes me wonder. I'm coming to you from central Delhi, and this place would have looked so much different in 1975 because, in the run-up to emergency, a lot of things happened when Delhi had to bear the brunt for the sterilization campaign, Garibi Hatao. It was also the epicenter of total revolution coming from Bihar and the Nirman agitation coming from Gujarat. But today is a different time, and like Shama and Charu Pragya also said, present is important, but past is also critical so that we don't repeat mistakes what we have done in the past.
That's right. Multiple political arguments between the past and the present. That's all we have time for on the Southern View this evening. Thanks very much for joining from Central Delhi, Vasudha. I know you have off-the-record meetings to attend on this big political face-off. We'll take a short break here on NDTV.